to the poor white man. He got more than the black Stafford trade.
Good morning. This is the Authentic Human Being Show. I'm Springfield Johnny, or Springfield Ivan in this case. We'll talk about my other science fiction novel, Elfine. Let me turn down Bobby, or someone that sounds like Bobby. Okay, hold on. This is a mind-altering song that changed my generation forever, my people, and my peers. But anyway, I'm going to introduce Ivan. Ivan was the head of the KGB in Russia. He went on a flight, space flight, to the planet Flimia with Michael, an American. And he was a CIA spy, and they were diplomats, and Selena, the Queen of Flimia, wanted the two representatives of the cultural warfare going on Earth to come to a planet. She was going to see what she could do, for these poor Earthlings that were stuck in this dumb duality, good versus evil, black versus white. It's a chessboard, only a pawn in their game, So, anyway, let me just show. This is probably going to be the cover of my book, Elfine, which is feline backwards. And Ivan ends up coming to America. He helps Michael end the Cold War because he's in love with John Steinbeck novels. He was a socialist, So, and he just loved all Steinbeck's books, and he said, "Gosh, I wish this Cold War would be over so I can come to buy a farm, old Victorian farmhouse out there in Salinas somewhere, have a lettuce farm." That was his dream, east of Eden. So he takes his daughter Elfine, who's half Earthling, half Flimmian, and her boyfriend Jonathan fishing. And he's had too much vodka, and they end up fishing off a 200-foot cliff. He's throwing out his pole with these big heavy weights and hooks, and this comes from my father. Vic, Captain Vic. So anyway, this will be sort of the let's go fishing. Look, from Mother Russia. So, I read a lot of science fiction when I was young with my friend Louis Stevenson. He was out there. His mother was a Ukrainian princess, and his father was this big Russian Jew that looked like that guy in the Laurel and Hardy movies, And he had a whole wall of science fiction novels that he read. And, and he was up atop it was a big jar, and he got his chemistry set out there, and he put some chemicals in there, and he ejaculated into this jar, and he's trying to make life. There it is. Come on, let's go fishing. Oh boy. See, science fiction writers can pretty much do what they want. It really brings out the hidden stuff. And it's there. A lot of people, unfortunately, think they've got to go to church and every Sunday and listen to this stuff over and over and over and over again about how to be a friend of Jesus and have Jesus in your heart and all that stuff. it's really indoctrination, especially when they're telling you the world's going to end pretty soon, Armageddon's going to come, and there's going to be a nuclear war between Russia and America, and you better pray and find Jesus because you're going to get incinerated along with 10 billion people or something, and then that's pretty unfair, so you want to beat the game, you better get with Jesus and love Jesus, listen to Jesus music all day, and go pray all the time, and even go to Bible study on Wednesday, and then come home and get on the computer with your Christian friends and talk about Jesus. I don't know how to go. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Well, see, I do that. See, as a biblical scholar. See, I was on my way to be a science fiction writer. Oh, I forgot to fix my light there. My little light shining up here. Just a minute, be with you folks. So after that guy put a gun to my head and said he's going to shoot me, I was down doing my laundry at the University Hotel. I'd been drinking, and I bought these homeless kids some hamburgers, and I actually bought a 6-pack of beer. They got a can of beer. While I'm doing my laundry, and they got a hamburger. All of a sudden, this Zario, this punk walks in. He's half Chicano, and he's kind of short and stuff, and this kind of like nervous vibe, from these young people. And there was a homeless hobo in there, about 50 years old, and he comes up to me and says, "Watch out for this guy. He carries a gun." Carries a gun, huh? I don't give a fuck. I try not to say, I don't give a fuck. I was breaking up with Lori, who was a nudie dancer in New Orleans when she was young. And we were both terrible alcoholics, terrible. It was wine and roses for 3 years. And I finally broke up with her. I didn't feel much like living. We loved each other very much, but we couldn't be together. I was living at the Moose Club in downtown Oakland. I was up there on the 15th floor. I finally got moved out of our apartment in San Leandro. All of a sudden I'm woken up at about 4:30 in the morning. There's Lori tapping on my window. And she's banging on it. She climbed up the fire escape, 15 floors. I opened up the window. I said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" She said, "Come on, let's go get a drink." Come on, I said, "Get your ass in here." And she's all dirty, her coat, from soot on the. No one's been on that fire escape for 50 years, except Lori, to get to me. That's what really bugs me about Bill Cornwall. See, when I met him in Las Vegas, he went there for a wedding, one of those bachelor parties, and then he staged this drunken scene in his hotel room. We all stayed in this hotel room. Threw some furniture around, So when I came over, knowing that I've got 26 years sobriety, I'll come in the room and go, oh, what happened? Oh, have you been drinking? You know, what a baby. See, you don't believe the people I've drunk with. I mean, you know, some in the University Hotel, you know, I wake up and there's these two black guys sleeping on the floor. One's got like a big scar coming down here, you know. And, you know, it all comes back to me. Yeah, these guys had just been paroled from San Quentin. And they didn't have any place to stay. So, oh, come on, stay at my house. My little studio room. I lived at a room in the hotel, University Hotel, at Shattuck there. And so I've drunk with Hell's Angels, you know, you name it. So I'm talking with this young girl. She's trying to be 16, down there in the laundromat, the bottom, sort of in the sub-basement of the University Hotel. And she's telling me about her abusive stepfather, how she had to leave home. And I'm really trying to give her some good advice. And this punk comes up to me and says, "Stop talking to that girl." And I'm sitting down and I look up and go, no one tells me what to do. And with those words you could kind of see the young people moving to the walls and the hobo, because out comes this big gun. You know, I'm gonna blow I'm gonna blow you fucking away, motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. Right in my face, a big gun. I look at him and go, you know what? I think you are gonna do that, but you know, you're such a fucking lousy shot, you probably hit one of these kids here. Why don't we go outside back of the alley and you can blow my head off back there? See, then there won't be any witnesses in it or anything. He goes, good idea. Gosh, why didn't I think of that? Oh, bang, you know. Yeah, you get going, you know. And you go, oh shit, you know. Am I going to get out of this one? So we head up these stairs into the back parking lot in the alley. All of a sudden, I hear my angel. I do have one. See, I want people to understand, you know, that I've seen God and angels, and I don't mess with them. I don't brag. I don't go to Sunday school or anything. I don't go to church. I very rarely tell anybody this. My close encounter with God and His angels, because it's what you call spiritual vanity. And I had a near-death experience, and what I'd learned was either I go with the I am of eternity and be in that wonderful place, heaven, or I come back and start running my creation through me, take a little responsibility and say I am, rather than He is, and you know, Jesus is my best friend. You know, He told me to vote against, you know, that black man, that's Antichrist, you know. I don't play that game, because I've seen it. See? So, my angel says, John, prepare to meet your Maker. You know, and I drop to my knees, I put my hands out, I say Baba, which is Father. And the gun's in the back of my neck, and all of a sudden I hear click. Click. You know, then the guy's swearing. He goes, motherfucker, shit, you click. You know, I go, oh fuck. You know, his gun's misfired. Okay, now what? My angel says, just get up and walk away, John. You're alive. So I went upstairs to my room and I bolted the door. And I go, well, that's it. can't go outside anymore. I'm done. So I got my guitar and I started playing, and I said, man, what's going to happen to you, John? You're a terrible alcoholic, lost someone you love. This guy tried to kill you and failed. You're going to have to be on the planet, and, for a little longer. Come what may, and so it goes. It's just, you just sit here in your little room and pluck on your little guitar strings, and, don't go next to the window, and don't go down and do your laundry. I guess you're going to have to live in dirty clothes. And also, I said, fuck this. I stood up, I smashed my guitar, against the wall. I said, I'm not going to fucking stay in here like a damn priest, or nun in a nun, whatever, And I walked out. I thought, I'm not going to have a good time. If I'm going to die, might as well have a good time. So I went to my bar, and man, I walk in the door, and I'm hearing this great music from this great band. They are nailing it, and this is a free music. And I'm up on the table dancing away, I'm literally dancing on the table. I'm right up there front. I'm really, throwing all this energy at the band, and they're throwing it back, and there's this whole deal going on. So I'm taking a break, and I look around. I see this young Native American in this wheelchair. Beautiful face, the whole profile with the aqua nose and the long jet black hair. And he's got 3 or 4 people around him. That's, someone who loves the limelight. They've been dancing in it for an hour or so. I said, what has this guy got, that I don't got, So I come up to him, and he looks at me, and I say, I've got this dilemma. He says, say no more, I understand. Meet me after the bar closes. I go, wow, because I could tell he had the sight. So the bar closes, and he's got 6 people around him. There he is in this wheelchair. Looks like Native American Jesus. Finally, they kind of disperse, and I come up to him. And I start to tell him this dilemma. See, this guy just tried to blow my head off, and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, shh, hold out your hand. I held out my hand, and he puts a tab of LSD in there. You want me to take this? And he goes, what are you going to do, save it? No. It's a long day. This is a long night. And I'd taken LSD, I guess, since 71. And this is like 86. I go back to my hotel room. And now I'm high on LSD. My guitar's broken. And so I end up writing this suicide note. 10 pages. Because I was drunk and high on LSD. Can't kill myself or get anybody to do it. So I guess I'm the guy for the job. And so I wake up in the morning, I'm really got the hangover of the century. And things are really bleak, and it's the end of the world. I'm still alive, and you know, so I see these papers there by my bed, and I pick them up. Oh shit! Yeah, this is my suicide note. I wrote this thing. I was see. And I'm reading this thing, and all of a sudden I'm blown away. You know, I had a cathartic, metamorphic moment here, you know, because I got in touch with my pain. I actually finally said what I've been trying to say all my life, and what I wanted to say to this shaman, American Indian. I finally said it. I said it, you know, because what this note said, here is my right to leave the planet. I have a right. And this is why I want to leave. And sort of, you know, an anthem. It turned out to be an anthem. Well, all of a sudden it hit me, well, if this is your reason or excuse or whatever, it was more, not an excuse, it was, you know, pretty much one of the most authentic things I've probably ever written in my life. And this is why I call this the Authentic Human Being Show. Because if you don't get in touch with your I am, see, we want to give that responsibility to other people, other entities and things, and I've already done that. So there was me on me. See? And I found every reason to live. I found every reason to be real. I found every reason to be authentic. I found every reason to continue. And more than that, I got in touch with my creation, my creative urge. And I began to write. I started 2 novels, The Getting Computer and Elfine. And these 2 novels came from a literary exercise I got, because I wanted to improve my vocabulary. So I got a book on how to do that, and chapter 1 said, you know, at the end of chapter 1, I want you to, you know, write a sentence using these 2 words, adroit and dexterous. And so adroit became Elfine, and dexterous became The Getting Computer. From these 2, this was a genesis. From these 2 words, the 2 novels sprang. And I'm writing them at the same time. So, Michael and Ivan, which means John. I didn't know Ivan met John. My counselor at Serena Lynn pointed it out. They go to the planet Flinia, and the Queen of Flinia wants to meet with them. And they want to talk business with her. And they're kind of like standing off, you know, they actually kind of grown to like each other in their travel there on the ship. They were on the same ship, and kind of, you know, and they started talking about the Flinian kiss, from you know, the royal Flinian kiss. If you were a certain royalty on this planet, these people were very psychic, you know, they're like psychic cats. And to kiss a royal Flinian feline, would induce a incredible visionary experience. Also, you would have a hit on their ability to see, and you could see a long ways after you've had a Flinian kiss. And of course, there's the inner sight, the inner journey. And so like, Michael gets the kiss first, and Ivan's like, what was it like, You're gonna have to try it yourself. Your turn, So Ivan really got a dose. He got a dose of this kiss. Whether and they're see the whole thing when these cat-like creatures mate. The males are so warlike, that there's a real pacifist chemical in this kiss, so they don't tear each other up as they make love. Wow. So they both have sexual intercourse with Selena, and then on the way back home, they're talking about their experiences and stuff, and then they 6 months later they get a letter from communication from Selena saying, I just born a child, and I'm not sure whose child it is. Well, it turns out to be Ivan's child. And in the 6 months, they've signed a peace treaty, and the Cold War is over. And Ivan has bought his farm just outside Selena's. He drives a 1939 red Ford pickup truck. He wears overalls, and he loves to go driving around with a bale of hay in the back. And he's driving down the road with Michael there, came to visit him, and he sees this hippie hitchhiker, and he rolls down the window. He goes, "Get a job, hippie!" This is 1986. Nobody had a clue that the Cold War would ever end. Or a Russian leader would be a redneck that loved to go fishing. Putin. He's a Christian. He's imitating Phil Robertson. He wanted to come here and talk in front of our Congress and Senate when the evangelicals shut down the government, because he wanted to, say, hey, I got my own Tea Party patriot. I got these Cossacks, we're just like the Tea Party patriots with their guns and their ammunition, and they had end of the world bunkers, and we're united in Christ. He wanted to give this whole speech and point at this poor black president, socialist. So you can't write this stuff. See, this is why I'm making this recording, because I don't trust, after Charles J. Shields, what he did to Vonnegut's biography, I don't trust the written word anymore. And I'm looking at the videos on YouTube of Kurt Vonnegut talking directly, because reality, historians, whoever writes history rules the world, these bio clinic people, they understand that, and they're tweaking this thing, see? The Christians, the evangelicals are rewriting the whole Bible. Oh, we didn't say that back in 1956, I mean, they change reality. They get their scribes, They don't change it in a week. And people are like going, what the fuck is going on with Republicans? They just said this, and now it's gone back to the editors.